to the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm back today with a pick a card reading for you. Welcome to my beautiful returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for being here and thank you for your support. A big thank you to everyone who has reached out to me via Etsy and Instagram as well. A big thank you to everyone who has entered my Instagram free mini reading giveaway. I will be keeping that posted until October 31st, so be sure to head over to Instagram. The link is below for your chance to win a free mini read from me. And if you are a subscriber to the channel, if you're new to the channel, please join us. I do pick a card readings on this channel, so pull up a chair, get cozy, and we'll have a little chat because we're all friends when we gather here together. And I also offer an opportunity to win a free video reading from me here on YouTube. To everyone who subscribes, hits the notification bell, and drops me a comment below my video. So I have already chosen my winner from last week. I will be choosing another winner for this coming week, so be sure to hit your notification bell so that I can enter you and so that you can be notified if you're chosen. But for today's pick a card reading, we are looking at a person on your mind and whether or not they're going to reach out to you. Do they still care about you as well? Do they still care? Are they going to reach out? We have 3 piles to choose from today. We have pile number 1 here with the red poppy flower. And this oracle is the Into the Lonely Woods oracle. So the poppy flower for pile number 1. Pile number 2 with this white flower. I'm not sure what type of flower it is. Pile number 3 with the pink flower. So whichever pile or piles, because you can be drawn to more than one pile, of course, whichever one you're drawn to, there may be a message waiting for you, and my timestamps are below. I'm going to jump right into pile number 1 today. Again, today we're asking the question about the person on your mind. Are they going to reach out to you? Do they still care about you? What are their current feelings? Pile number 1. Hello, pile number 1. You were drawn to the red flower. And you received the What Did We Lose card. This is a beautiful card. You can see them looking down into the well. This card is beautiful. It's from the Oracle Into the Lonely Woods. And this card talks about this embracing the time of in-between between you and the person on your mind at this time, and how, sorry, I'm just going to turn a light on, how we can gain a lot during this period of in-between. You can see they're looking down into the well, and the well represents sort of what creates us. You know, about the aspects of our sacred self that we cast aside, we reject or abandon along the way of our journey. And so sometimes in connections, perhaps like the one on your mind, aspects of ourself get embodied around certain opportunities that we reject or that we leave behind. And so now we're sort of wondering what we did leave behind. And so we're going back to the drawing board, wondering what could we have built together? What could we have grown together if we had just perhaps taken more risks or fought harder through the disconnect or found more determination in the obstacles that we found. So this could be an indicator that you can't stop thinking about this person, and perhaps they can't stop thinking about you too, and wondering what could be resalvaged in this connection as well. So, and I love that you were drawn to the poppy energy as well, because that's, you know, there's that whole recognition of the poppy being about remembrance, and also about how we can become empowered by our memories, and we can use them to fuel change in our life, any dissatisfaction that we're feeling. So let's take a look here and see. Does your person still care about you? What are their current feelings at this time? Do they still care? We have the Knight of Pentacles. And then we're going to look into whether or not they're going to reach out to you in the future. They could be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. You have the Star of Aquarius. We have the Six of Cups. Oh, do they still care? You know, this person, first of all, I feel that they will always care about you, pile 1. This is somebody who I feel like was really reliable for you, even in a friendship sort of scope. It's like, this is someone who is dependable. This is a good person. Like, I just feel like this is a good person. And this is perhaps someone that you put on a pedestal, to be honest. And they put you on that same pedestal too. It's very sweet sort of energy between the two of you. Very generous, you know, both back and forth. You're very generous with each other, and the care that you show each other in that sense, even in the present, even if there's disconnect, there's a certain amount of respect there, and there's a certain amount of permanent love between the two of you. And you'll always hold a really special place in this person's heart, truly. They are also thinking about, even in the disconnect, they wonder about reunions with you as well. And there's a sense of them wondering if the path that they've taken in life has been sort of a waste of their time, in a sense, when it comes to emotions, because they feel like they've taken some really expected path. I think that they followed like what the expectations of their family, of the collective. They did what was expected of them in life. And I feel like they're not even a complainer. Like, that's what I keep hearing, is like they wouldn't even complain except for the fact of, what did we lose together? It's like, I'm willing to sacrifice it's like they'll give you the shirt off their back. That's what I keep hearing. They'll give you the shirt off their back. They're a very generous soul, very, supportive person. But what did they lose by sort of going down the path that they've chosen? What did they lose? And, with the well energy, there's also this sense of dropping wishes into the well and wishing that they had done things differently with you, worried about the impression that they left with you, because they care about your opinion towards them. We have the Eight of Swords. And they keep saying they would like to reach out to you. They would like to feel their curiosity. We have the Page of Wands on back of deck. But they don't know how they'll be received. They don't know if you still care, to be honest. And that's the question we're asking them. Do they still care? Absolutely they do, but they don't know if you feel the same way, if this is very mutual. We have the Page of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles, because there's a real sense of going from a child to a grown-up here. Like, we were kids when this started, and now we've moved into other positions. We've evolved, as has our awareness, not just our position, but our awareness over this connection has evolved. And there's this feeling of like, I wouldn't make that same mistake twice if I was given that opportunity again. But it's like the shoulda, coulda, wouldas in this connection is almost like a monster that comes in for your person. And you may feel that this is very mutual, actually, coming through here. Do they still care? All of these thoughts that you they wouldn't receive, or that you wouldn't receive their message or a communication or contact well, I feel like it's baseless, completely baseless. It's kind of being welled up by their emotions, and even the emotions drying up around their feet here. All of these swords are just reflecting expectations of defeat, but they're not based in reality. There's also this aspect of this person hoping that you are happy too. There's an emphasis on that. And wondering if they've kind of wasted too much time. They've spent a lot of time thinking about you. And I keep hearing about planning an approach. So they've sort of fantasized about contact. They have definitely thought about reaching out to you. Seven of Swords reversed. But it's almost like they're worried that their feelings aren't going to be matched. I feel like they're lying to themselves to say that they're confused about how you feel in return, because it's not. I feel like there's a reality here that they're ignoring. And there's an aspect of the Seven of Swords about feeling like I'm intruding on something that doesn't belong to me. It's like they're worried about coming in and creating chaos in your situation, because there's this aspect of them assuming that you must be in a very positive position in life, assuming that you're happy and not wanting to kind of mess that up. There's also this assumption that you are kind of way out of their league at this point as well. Ace of Cups. And we have the Three of Pentacles. Back of the deck is the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Sun. This person definitely still thinks about you, and they have been thinking about you for a very, very long time, Pile One. Like a very long time. There could be years here between the two of you. There's emphasis on Leo energy. There's emphasis on Aquarius. I also have a lot of earth elements here with Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, specifically Virgo at this time. So this could be sort of signs that the two of you may embody, but you don't have to. It's all about energy. And they're still really, really curious about how you perceive the situation. They wish that they could kind of have clarity on how you feel. And they're still super, super attracted to you, but they don't feel like you're attracted to them in the same way. There's an emphasis here on the fire element for the Divine Masculine, but there's the Queen of Swords. And there's the Eight of Cups. It's like they really wish that you hadn't walked away. It's like they felt like it was preemptive. They felt like they were waiting for the perfect moment to take action towards you, but then you sort of created boundaries or walked away and led by example, moving forward when they perhaps should have moved forward towards you. But it's almost like I know they want to reach out to you, but they don't feel like they can. And it could be because of other foundations for you or for them. So please take that as it resonates to your situation. But there is an emphasis on the Queen of Swords here, reaching out and speaking their truth. So you may even feel pulled to communicate to this person. How do they feel, please? Do they still care about pile 1? We have here, you are the light. It's coming in the reversal. It's 17 Aquarius. You could be the Aquarius. It says, when darkness surrounds you, be the light. They really, really care about what you think. You can see she's holding a bird cage, though. They wonder what your position is. If they're not privy to your situation, and I don't feel like they are, they're not. There's not a sense of voyeurism here, but they assume you're attached. This could just be an assumption that's baseless, but they assume you must be attached, and that makes them feel very insecure. But you'll notice there's no bird in that cage. And you feel far away, so you could geographically be far away. Again, there could be a very sort of big space and time here. But when we're looking at the star of Aquarius, it makes us feel small. When we're looking at stars, it reminds us how small we actually are in the big scheme of things. And so there's an element of you being up on this pedestal and being unattainable. We have here Divine Badass, and I always think about the High Priestess here. And you can see that there's 2 skulls on her earrings. There's a sense of reality in accordance to perhaps the ability to bridge the gap. So it could be position as well. But this person has sat upon information they know to be true about you. It's like they kept their feelings hidden from you. We also have here Free Spirit. Free Spirit, number 22. And there's an aspect of them wishing that they didn't have responsibilities or wishing that there were no sort of grievances or obstacles between the two of you. That's what they wish for. In a perfect world, there would be no obstacles. There'd be no responsibilities. We could go exploring in this connection. We could go back in time and we could have a do-over here. But now we have Creatrix, number 18 on the back of the deck. Scorpio energy. They're still suppressing how they truly feel. So they could be wearing masks in their environment, but they're also afraid of how you feel. They're afraid of revealing how they feel because they don't know what kind of sort of havoc it could wreak in your environments, but they're afraid of where this path leads. Like, what could we have built together? There's essence here of Beauty and the Beast as well. We have here Weight of the World, boundaries, let it go, it's not yours to carry. And all paths lead home, intuition, and turn your gaze within. There's this aspect here of feeling like we wasted opportunities, or we wasting time, or we are wasting time in the present moment with the star energy. But the Spirit wants to gently remind us about how all of these both of these buckets are going to kind of trickle down into the same pool of reflection. That not to fear the disconnect, not to fear like you'll never ever experience anything with this person again. That if this is a soulmate contract, for instance, that we're going to return to each other, we're going to return to source. That the separateness within us is actually just an illusion. We have here Activated Earth, trust where you are led, power play, and ley lines. I'm going to pull up a couple of message cards from this person and get an idea of their current feelings for you, and then we're going to look into whether or not they're going to reach out to you in the future. Are they going to reach out? But how are they currently thinking and feeling about pile 1, please? I can still hear your laugh. You could have a really great laugh, like a really loud laugh, or something very, very unique. The breakup was bad, I'm still healing. The separation was bad. And if they are in a current situation, they could be in a healing cycle coming out of a responsibility cycle. But they're also really thinking about the disconnect and how hard it's been to let you go. I miss you terribly. Do you miss me? Oops. On the floor, we have karmic lessons are at play here. And I want you so badly. There is that Knight of Wands that kept, where did he go? It's from the other deck. A Knight of Wands, the Page of Wands. This person feels very curious about you in a very sort of a physical way. And there's an emphasis on the Six of Cups. So I feel like there's a lot of innocence here. It's like you never got a chance to kind of explore that. So they still fantasize about that. They are wearing a mask in their environment. And they dream of you often. That could be where that moon energy came from. I have no right to, but I get so jealous over you. It's like I have no right to be possessive over you. You were never mine. But the truth is I am possessive. I don't know how to let you go. I don't know how to let this situation go as well. So let's ask Spirit about the future. Will this person reach out to you? They are thinking about it. Whoops. Explosion. They are thinking about it. With the Page of Cups, will this person reach out to pile number 1? And if so, what can you tell me about that? Will you reach out to pile number 1? We have the Death energy and the Ten of Swords. And the Nine of Pentacles. I do not feel like this person will reach out to you. They may be waiting for you to reach out to them, but I don't feel like they are going to be the ones to bridge that gap. Here's that Seven of Swords. It's almost like they're afraid to be caught out for their feelings. They're afraid of somebody finding out that they feel something for you. They're almost afraid of you finding out that they feel something for you, because then they feel like they'll have to act upon that epiphany. The Death energy and the Ten of Swords are very hard nosed at this moment because of position. Could be because of the position of the Divine Feminine, and because they feel like if they approach at this time, they could just wreak havoc for you. They could just create a lot of conflict. And they're wearing heavy masks when it comes to you. So it's like they don't want to reveal that these have been masks all along. They could be telling other people from the past, for instance, that they don't feel as intensely. And so there's this feeling of devastation surrounding the fact that they feel like they can't, even though they feel tempted to do that. There's this moth down here, but there's a skull on the moth, which is a symbol of reality and the grief that they feel because they don't feel like they can, like they feel like they have to let it go because of the paths that you've both chosen at this time. There is an emphasis, though, on them still being attracted and focusing, and there's the Watcher card. They could be keeping tabs on you, which could be why they are privy to your position. But I don't feel like they're going to bridge that gap. I feel like they're going to maintain that Watcher position. They could be waiting for some sort of clearance, and they could be waiting for a sign from you because there was an emphasis on the Queen of Swords. But I don't feel like they are going to reach out in the near future. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. Advice for pile 1, please, in the bowl about this connection. Missed it. We have the Four of Pentacles, we have the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. You know, it feels like this is a connection that was meant for us. Like we feel connected to this person. We can't shake the connection, so there must be something to it. You know, that's what we're telling ourselves. But they say that it's trickling into attachment right now because we have both an attachment to this person, but we also have an attachment to the practical realm that we've built for ourselves. And so it doesn't allow any clearance for this wheel to get in motion. It's kind of like expecting a wheel to turn, but we have a brick sitting in front of it. And so there's an emphasis on motherhood in the bowl as well, with the Queen of Pentacles here and the fertility that she's sort of shown and developed over the course of her experience. And so we almost see like a pinwheel in the bowl too. And so we are in a little bit of a karmic loop at this time. And so Spirit's advice is to take that information and follow that trigger back to where the impediment is, what's impeding the journey. Is it something practical? Is it something emotional? Can we clear it out? Is it possible for us to clear it out? So we have to reflect upon the actions we can take, because we can't depend on your person to be the one reaching out, because I don't feel like they will. They could change their mind, but in the present moment, they are staying. They're staying because they feel like it's too risky at this time. We have the letter R, We have will, it's reversed. We also have here the 10 of Cups. I often think about emotional abundance. I think about revelations. I think about the full spectrum and seeing things clearly. And I do think about family units at times. We have the whale, and it's the purple whale. I think about royalty. I think about surrendering to positions that we've built for ourselves. But we have a tangled heart about it. And we have the blocked heart chakra with the stethoscope. There also could be a hospital or nursing connection. We have the little owl. I think of the divine feminine, and I think about the Queen of Swords. So Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. And an emphasis on the Queen of Swords communicating. So bringing, it's like if there's going to be communication, it may be the divine feminine that has to bring that forward. We have the butterfly of transformation, but they are encouraging that divine feminine to retreat into herself before she makes a discernible decision about that. We do have the balance rune, and we have the black little seahorse here with the American flag. So the seahorse is a symbol of surrender. This is the black seahorse, and it really mirrors the 10 of Swords, the death energy about surrendering, surrendering to the present moment and releasing the past. And that's the thing, is that it's not that they can't, it's that they may not choose to. That's why the will is reversed. That is what I have for you today, my dears. I hope that it resonated with you. And if it did, I would love to hear your story in the comment section below. And I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed by hitting your notification bell, your like button. It helps me to bring you guys more content. I would also love for you to check out my links below for Etsy for personal reading if you feel called to. And for Instagram, I do have that post up for October. On October 31st, I will be drawing a name for a free mini read on Instagram. So be sure to check out that link below too. But I hope you have a great day, and I hope you come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the white flower, and you were drawn to the hope is like a hummingbird, which is interesting because the white flower, the white rose of hope, can denote hope in a situation as well. And this card specifically speaks about that. It speaks about how you may be feeling hopeless. You can see this person sitting on this stone in the churning sea. But then there's this hummingbird that comes in, and it talks about bridging a gap between sadness and hope very, very quickly as well. And so this can really speak about perhaps the potential that actually exists, even though you may feel like some of the potential could be waning at this time. So let's see how that affects your reading today. So let's begin here. Which deck do I want to use? So will they reach out to pile 2? Do they still care? We're going to start with their feelings. How are they feeling at this moment? Do they still care about you? This flower reminds me of a daisy, and so there's this aspect of not knowing or feeling insecure or feeling helpless about the situation. It's like asking ourselves, do they love me? Do they love me not? Do they love me? Do they love me not? So let's see. Do they still care about pile number 2? What are their current feelings? Then we will look at if they are going to reach out. We have the 2 of Pentacles. We have the 3 of Swords. We have the True Love Lovers card. Do they still care about pile number 2, please? The Knight of Wands. And we have the World. Wow. They definitely feel like there's a lot of unfinished business here for you, pile 2. And there's almost an attachment issue here. It's not even about just caring. It's about this feeling of like we're connected in some way. There's a lot of physical attraction here and desire to explore that, the desire to have that again. They are still holding space for you, despite the fact that they may have moved into a different dynamic or moved into some sort of commitment phase in their life. It doesn't matter because they're still holding space here. There's a sense of indecision about it, and even indecision about how fulfilled they feel in that moment. There's a really strong emphasis on Capricorn here, on Gemini as well. Sorry, my mind went blank on Gemini as well. And there's the High Priestess. This person definitely doesn't share their feelings for you to the world. They don't express how they feel in their environment, but they definitely feel that sense of connection. But I feel like there could be sort of other people involved. So take that as it resonates to your situation. That's not for everyone. If it doesn't resonate with you, it may not be your message. but there's a sense of juggling and there's a sense of indecision. And even with the Three of Swords, it can denote a third party. But you inspire them to kind of do bad things or to take risks where they feel necessary in order to gain information about the situation. So the Devil can sort of add to this feeling of hope is like a hummingbird. Is it feeling hopeless? It reminds me of the Four of Cups, this number 4 card. And so there's insecurity surrounding the potential in the future. But they think about you often, like they think about you quite a bit, and they still feel attracted to you. They still feel the connection. And it's almost kind of the separation that you guys may be experiencing right now, whether it be physical or emotional, is very devastating for this person. So they definitely still care. They're definitely still addicted and attached, and they think that there's unfinished business. I also feel like they try to see you online, or they try to watch you online, but it's also a temptation for them to sort of reach out and to clear up confusion. So it's like it makes them feel naughty or something. It makes them feel bad. We have the Five of Pentacles. And they think it's taking too long. Like this separation is taking too long. They wonder if you're still holding space for them as well, because there's this feeling of like we're in the same boat, we're in this together. So you could have very similar experiences. You may be living paralleled soul paths, for instance, or they just assume that you do still care about them as well, because the connection is strong. Like it's very strong. And they've had enough time in the separation to really look at it from every single angle, you know, and to see the truth beyond the hopelessness that they sometimes feel too. Sometimes the insecurity gets to them and they feel that hopelessness, but they've had enough time to be able to truly raise their awareness surrounding the connection. And so their higher self tells them it's not impossible, but there's just some things that are getting in the way. Here's the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles can talk about jobs. It can talk about careers. It can talk about family units. It can talk about anything that is impeding us or anything that we're building and investing in. Emphasis on Queen of Wands here. And they also, there's this feeling of insecurity because they know that they've kept you waiting. And they know that maybe you do want to hear from them. There's this emphasis on you probably do want to talk to each other. And they feel that. But it's like they're trying to figure out the strength. And they feel like they haven't heard from you. And so that's what they utilize. That's the truth that the ego brings forward to tell them, well, you shouldn't worry about this because they haven't reached out to you. So it's a hopeless situation and you don't have any hope here. It's one-sided. But the truth is that I feel like, again, there could be mirror soul paths here. But they think about the silence coming from you. You do tempt them, though, to take big risks. They're hesitant to do it because they know the consequences of those risks. You can see the knight here is dressed, he's a skull. He's a skeleton. And it's a symbol of changing directions drastically. You know, it's a shift in position. It's a shift in opportunities for you, but it comes at a cost of an old foundation. They spend a lot of time thinking about you. It just keeps coming back to this Hermit and about the loneliness that they feel, but they still have that hope in the Lantern. And you started with the hope is like a hummingbird. It can bridge a gap very, very quickly. Things can turn and change on a dime. People's, inspirations can shift on a dime as well. And you do inspire this person to look into the rearview mirror a lot, to react to fear with force. But the truth is that they are keeping this feeling hidden. They are keeping their feelings for you hidden. You can see this person is like sneaking off with these swords by the blade end. It's like if he keeps looking backwards, he's going to hurt himself or he's going to hurt somebody else. He's going to fall on that. We have the Four of Cups reversed and we have the Magician. And this is like perfect energy. This is exactly what Spirit is talking about with the four, that the hope is like a hummingbird, because the Four of Cups is about helplessness. And in the reverse, it's a new attitude. It's shifting the focus. It's saying, I'm not helpless. I just need to take back control of old dynamics. I need to take back control of my narrative, take back control of my practical position, and perhaps remove myself from anything, whether it be physical or emotional, that's stopping me from taking action. And so there's an emphasis here on communication. There's an emphasis here on closure issues and taking risks in order to create clarity between the two of you as well. How do they feel, please? Do they still care about pile 2? What are their current feelings for pile number 2? We have here dragon, beware of self-delusion. And that's what happens when they fall into this despair. Their dragon, their ego inside of them starts to fuel this insecurity, starts to tell them it's a hopeless situation. But they're stronger than that. They're smarter than that. That's the thing. They've spent enough time thinking about this connection that they know how to ground themselves to reality. We have younger woman, dealings or relationship with a younger woman. Her hair buns remind me of Princess Leia, and I had to bring that up, so that may be significant to you, Star Wars in some way. We have here fire, still strong emotions, passionate love and hate for you. Not love, or that's not hate, it's definitely passionate love. But we have apple, you're a temptation, and it tests them. And I feel like it tests them regularly, to be honest. What are their current feelings, please? Star baiting. It says transmission, activation, crystal grid. There's a feeling of them longing for you, wishing for you, waiting for you too. It says, wait, it's not yet time. Things are being woven. And this is an indicator that they may be considering taking that action because they're longing. They're homesick for you. They're homesick for the stars. You could be an Aquarius energy here because they're homesick for you. They're homesick for this Queen of Wands. Back of the deck says, earth pulsing, slow down, time in nature. And there's an aspect here of having long delays and having spent quite a few years, even perhaps for someone watching, in a space of in-between. Because there's an emphasis on impatience coming into. How do they currently feel, please? Do they still care about pile number 2? We have here retreat, time to disconnect from the world. And that is the hermit energy of somebody who goes into a very lonely position to think about you. It's a very private moment. We have separation, time apart from your partners on the horizon. And these feelings are real and they're worth exploring. And that's the thing, is that they feel the separation. They're feeling anxious about that. But they're thinking about bridging that gap because they want to explore these feelings. They think that they're real, and they know that it's possible if they just communicate something, if they just take some sort of action. It says, give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. They're very focused on you in all of these reflections, and all of these thoughts represented by the lover's energy of looking at things from every single angle. They're very, very focused on you. Let's get a couple of message cards to see what their thoughts have been. So we're going to use... Do they still care about pile 2? What are some of their thoughts and feelings about pile 2? You consume me. You consume my thoughts. And we have the devil energy as back of deck. But I don't know how to tell you the truth. I am forever yours. And you know, it's coming up over the lovers for a reason. It's a sense of a connection that defies logic. It shouldn't make sense, but it does. I worry that this is all in my head, but it's always been you. And I wish now that I had fought harder for us. Back of the deck says, I am sick of no contact. And that could be the indicator that this person may take action. So let's ask that spirit, or let's ask spirit that question rather. Will this person reach out to pile number 2? They feel the desire, they want to communicate, but they know it's risky. Will they reach out to pile number 2, please? Ooh, it's like they're contemplating it. 5 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, Ace, or I'm sorry, the Ace, the Magician. Magician is the ruler of the communication planet of Mercury, so he is controlling every element on that table, including communication. I feel like there is this commitment issue at this moment, and their emotion is telling them to act, and their logic is telling them not to act. Communication, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Ooh, it's going to be challenging for them. It's going to be challenging for them, but I do feel like they are going to ultimately take a risk. I feel like it's going to take them some time to navigate all of this. And there's a definite risk associated with this path. This Ace of Pentacles here is about the communication coming in for you. There could be delays in that. It is in this state of limbo at this time because they are contemplating the path ahead. And that's why you have the Lovers right in the center of your reading as well, because there's a big decision to be made. And that decision has a lot, or holds a lot of potential for change in many different arenas in life. We're talking about foundations. We're talking about bringing forward epiphanies long after someone has walked away. And this could require some of the force here that we have to apply. Some of the determination may require us walking away from unfulfilling situations that we cannot commit, or that we are committing to right this moment. So there's a lot at stake here. And I feel like this person is going to bring forward some sort of communication for you ultimately. This Spirit says that there's a range of time periods here, because I'm dealing with collective energy. And so we have anywhere from literally 1 to even 4 years upwards of them taking a risk and reaching out, but it's going to come in the form of communication, and it's going to come in suddenly when you're not expecting it. For someone watching, it could come within a little over a year's time. But again, there's a very broad range here because I'm dealing with collective energy. But I do feel like this person will take that risk ultimately. But it could create permanent change to the practical realm. So that's why they're sort of on the fence, off the fence, on the fence, off the fence, because they have a big choice to make. And I feel like they're going to take a risk. And even within the communication that opens up, there's still actions and consequences that could come in to create more potential for you, but a lot of change. Advice, please, for pile 2 in the bowl. 7 of Swords is sort of a theme here today. We have the Wheel of Fortune, but there will be a sudden turn of events in your favor for the Divine Feminine here. The issue is that I'm not 100% sold that the Divine Feminine doesn't have a lot on her plate right now. There's an emphasis on motherhood. There's an emphasis on career. I just feel like you're doing so much. So you may not, it may come in, the communication may come in when you're not 100% prepared for it, when you're not really ready for it, because it's going to come in suddenly for you. There's an emphasis here on secrecy, and there's an emphasis here on the desire or the necessity for honesty at that time. I keep hearing soul contract though, so this definitely has a soul contract afforded to it. We have the 6 of Cups. We have the feel reverse. It's like, I can't feel your love anymore. I don't know if you still care. We have T and T. We have baby steps. I think about children, so that could be a component here. As I said, there's motherhood associated with the Queen of Pentacles. But I also feel like those are going to be baby steps with the Hermit towards the communication that's coming in. We have bones to pick, though. There's still a bone to pick with you. We have the Rose of Empowerment. The red Rose of Empowerment. We have a guitar pick, and we have the honeycombs. So there's a musical element here to your connection. So perhaps certain songs really remind them of you, or vice versa. Your name could appear in some sort of song. And we have an emphasis here on these honeycombs, the 6 of Pentacles. So somebody who's investing perhaps in a karmic situation. We also have the 2 of Cups. So relationships. Impeding upon this soulmate reunion. We also have 2 commandments from the Bible. One says, honor the Sabbath day. And the other one says, honor thy father and thy mother. So an emphasis on children, on motherhood and fatherhood in the bowl. All right, pile 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, I'd love to hear your story below in the comments section, and I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. You can hit your notification bell, your like button. It helps me to bring you guys more content. And be sure to check out my Instagram link this week, because on October 31st, I'm going to be drawing a couple of names actually, to give out a free mini read on Instagram. So be sure to check me out there. And be sure to drop me a comment here on YouTube for your chance to win a full video reading as well from me. I also offer I offer private readings through my Etsy account, and that link is below. But I hope that you come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. You are drawn to the pink flower. And your card is The Communion of Tender Souls, which is such a beautiful card. And this is from the Into the Lonely Woods Oracle. And this particular card is about kindred spirits. It's about two people that connect on a very soul-based level. And it talks about a kinship that runs very, very deep, and how we nurture and tend to each other's sort of souls in this type of communion, in this type of connection. So you may find that that's how you feel about this person. This also emphasizes allowing both of us our freedom, allowing both of you to express your freedom in different ways, and not to sort of hold on to the connection as a possession, but to just allow it to support each other on your soul's journey. So there's something kind of beautiful about this card, almost bittersweet about it coming through here. It's number 10, which can talk about communion and community and coming back together. So hopefully that is a good sign. We're going to look at whether or not this person is going to reach out to you, and do they still care about you? This is a beautiful indication that they do still care, but we will look into that specifically. So let's see. Do they still care about pile number 3, please? What are their current feelings here about pile number 3? We have the 4 of Cups. We have the Queen of Wands. Fire energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. This person, I feel like, was very intimidated by you in the past. Really wanting to sort of perhaps take action, but really intimidated. And really kicking themselves now. There's a sense here with the world didn't want to come upright completely. There was a sideways angle to it, and there's an emphasis with the tree here, the tree of life, and it looks like a maze in front with the 4 seasons being shown on the tree. So lots of time has passed by, but there's unfinished business here. And there's a feeling of like, I didn't see what was sitting right in front of me until it was too late. So they've had a revelation since the connection has ended. They may have treated you like they didn't care. That could be why you're even asking this question. It's like, are they going to reach out to me because they didn't act like they cared when they walked away, or it didn't feel, it wasn't apparent to me that they really cared. But there's a revelation here. If you look on the drum of the stag, there's all of these roots that are equally as big as what we're being shown on the surface of the soil. We're seeing this huge canopy, but the true depth of their emotion was buried deep. And there's a sense of them not having the strength to draw that out when they had the opportunity to. And so that gave you the impression that you bored them, or that they didn't care, or that they were overlooking the situation. But they were sitting on information that they knew to be true. They just couldn't find the words or the courage to bring it up. And I feel like there's a real sense of, here's healing. Yeah, it's like they were hard on themselves when they came up with this revelation about you. They were really tough on themselves. They were really kicking themselves. Because now they've moved into more of an awareness position. They've seen the imbalance. They've seen where they went wrong. They've kicked themselves, and now they're going through the process of trying to heal out some of that, trying to forgive themselves for it. But it's really played upon their strength, really played upon their feelings for you. And now we're left with in the future with this curiosity, with this movement, with this desire to take what we've learned and apply it with force, because that knight doesn't mess around. So let's take a look here. How are they feeling? I just saw the 5 of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands. They got really jealous in the past when it came to you. How do they feel? Do they still care? The Hanged Man. There is this feeling of them moving through this period of victim mentality because they recognize that they acted like they were helpless, but they knew that they weren't. Like there's no struggle here with the Hanged Man. His hands aren't tied behind his back. He's just letting the insecurity overwhelm him. And now they've relaxed into that truth. You have the Knight of Swords reversed. We have the Hierophant reverse. Oh my goodness. We have the Ace of Swords reverse. And they're stressed out because they're even regretting a lot of the things that they said to you. They said that some of the things they said to you they said certain things to you to intentionally get a rise out of you, to intentionally kind of make you irritated or something, and perhaps even to push you away a little bit. Because the intensity of this communion of souls, it felt like too much, or they weren't used to having that sort of support, and so they just raged against it. But they keep saying that they said things that they really wish they had taken back, and they could take back at this time, because they realize now that that could have been the moment where they could have been more vulnerable. That could have been the moment where they went wrong. And I feel like they really want to share these revelations with you. They're also intimidated too, like they're scared too. You get the Two of Swords reversed. And there's this feeling of them kind of blaming their own confusion. It's like, I was ill-equipped. I didn't see what was sitting right in front of me. I was an idiot. Like, they are calling themselves every name in the book. There's an aspect of that here. And now they lose sleep over it. They worry so much about this connection, and they can't stop. It's like their mind is this maze. They keep going round and round in circles, trying to it's almost like it's kind of like a ghost, to be honest. That's what I'm just seeing. It's like when people talk about a haunting and there's a ghost that's lost a child, and they just keep going from room to room, window to window, looking for that lost child. That's what I'm seeing. But that's sort of the energy. It's like my lost partner in crime, my lost friend, my lost soulmate. And I feel, honestly, what hurts them the most is the idea that they have hurt you in some way. Because the truth is that they said that they acted impulsively, and their reaction was a reaction based on fear and not of love and not on truth. Because even the Ace of Swords is reversed here. And so they may have given you the impression, they may have made you really angry. Maybe you took the initiative in the past, and they told you that they didn't care in some way. But that was a lie. And now they're really kicking themselves, and they're really remorseful about that. They're really afraid that they've caused you pain. We have the Page of Cups on his knees coming forward here. And we have the Six of Wands with the Five of Swords. And look at the way that this mouse stabs the other one in the back. And there's that Knight of Wands. This person could be a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, potentially with the fire energy here. But it's like they feel like they hurt you. They feel like they stabbed you in the back. And there's the internal conflict is stripping them of their confidence. And they also want to give you back some of that. If they stole it from you, if they took some of that confidence, if they took it for themselves, they want to give it back to you in that sense. So they definitely still care about you. They are really remorseful. You have opportunity or windfall. And it says someone will make you do something against your will. It's reversed. And it's not something against their will. I feel like in the past, it's like they're blaming that version of themselves for everything that happened. It's not against their will. If they come forward, it will be of their own accord. And we're going to look into that in a few moments. We're just going to continue delving deep into their feelings for you. We have chair empty. Someone is leaving your life. And it feels like something is missing now without you there. I don't necessarily even feel like this has been a long separation necessarily. It could be, but not for everyone. You have here not unsuccessful plans. And there's a sense of I always think of tying the knot and marriage with this card. So please take that as it resonates. So that could be where you were hoping it would go. But there's also a sense of my stomach being in a knot and being really worried and scared because the seasons are changing and I'm afraid of losing out on the opportunity. And we have crown, honor, respect will come to you, and forest, muddled, unclear thinking. And they are blaming their ego. They're blaming that at this moment, saying it wasn't the truest version of me, the person connected to this soul contract, the communion of souls here, the communion of tender souls, because I feel like there's an emphasis on that tenderness, and they weren't tender with you in the past the way that they feel like they really should have been and could have been. How do they feel about pile 3, please? Do they still care? Oops. Lifting the veil and forge, don't fall or be. It says pave a new path and be the leader you wish you had. Questioning everything and anything aligned must go, and that is the judgment. And that's what they've done. They've lifted the veil of illusion. This illusion that they were perhaps sort of pushing into the universe and pushing towards you, of this feeling of I don't care, I'm not interested. feeling like I have all the time in the world. And now they feel like they have to lead by example with all of these lessons here. And we have activated earth, power places, ley lines, and trust where you are led, because they're thinking about that communication. There is an emphasis in your spread for you, pile 3, about movement, and perhaps an opportunity to follow our intuition and to bring about emotional new starts, renewals and romances, apologies potentially as well. They are thinking about that. And again, we're going to look into that in a few moments. Do they still care about their current feelings at this moment? For pile number 3. Yeah, if your heart-to-heart conversations are needed, they want to honestly discuss their feelings with you. So important. Their attraction is real. Just saw attraction on the back of the deck. Yeah, if you, unrequited love. They don't know if you care as well. It's like but I feel like they left you with the impression that it was unrequited, and they're really worried about the impression that they left you. They're really anxious about the things that they said specifically in moments where you felt like perhaps they were kind of being deliberately cruel to save face. We also have here calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help to bring you closer together. Good signs that perhaps they will be moving into a more vocal and take action towards you, a more vocal stage of this connection, but we will see. What are their current thoughts in this moment about pile number 3, please? Do they still care? Do they still think about pile number 3? I've been thinking about proposing to you. I'm making a proposition, perhaps not a full-fledged proposal, but a proposition. And as I said, there's an emphasis on tying the knot here. I've thought about taking a trip with you. So they're really focusing upon the future. They're really focusing even about travel with the Knight of Wands, about the fresh ways that you guys can reevaluate this connection and start from square one. It's almost like they want to prove something to you. I have been astral projecting to you through their consistent thoughts. Oops. And I love that card because you guys started with the communion of tender souls, that there is still a sort of spiritual communion energy that's still being applied in the disconnect. We have this whole twin flame stuff, though, sometimes scares me. And there is an emphasis on this person not being perhaps as spiritually aware as you are, which is why they perhaps fell into some of this behavior in the past where they were saying things they shouldn't have said, or just giving you the impression that they didn't care. It was all literally an example of stress that they were feeling. I have been manifesting our connection. But again, it's reversed. I don't know that this person believes in manifestation in that sense. This is someone who is still a work in progress. They're still evolving in their awareness. Your connection is actually a beautiful tool of evolution in their awareness, but they're still in the baby stages of that. And the back of the deck says, I love you. And I'm always reminded of you. So let's ask Spirit about this connection moving forward. Let's see. Will they reach out to pile number 3, please? Let me clarify the Page of Cups and the Knight of Wands. Queen of Pentacles. We have the Fool. We have the 10 of Cups. Oh my goodness. Yes, they will for you, pile 3. They're bringing in the full spectrum of what they've learned. They're taking a big risk, though. They feel like they're taking a big risk. They don't know. It's like you've moved into a state of independence. The Queen of Pentacles has a lot on her plate. And there's been an emphasis on the Queen of Pentacles actually for all 3 piles. So you could be an earth sign. But there's this emphasis of 8 of Cups. And here's the Hanged Panda with the Magician. Oh, the 8 of Cups is all about moving on from unfulfilling emotional cycles. They're emphasizing the separation between the two of you, and they're surrendered to this idea of communicating and taking sort of responsibility as well for, yeah, it's like they're coming forward with an apology. Even look at the King of Swords here, clouded. He's holding on to his sword of truth, clouded. So it's like they're coming forward with some sort of apology towards you, and they feel like it's risky because they're a little bit intimidated by you. But Spirit says that they will reach out. It may take them a little bit of time to build up the courage to do that, because right this moment with the Two of Swords reversed, they're going through the revelation right this moment, but they still have to forge a plan. They have to start taking practical steps. That's going to take some time. But Spirit says they're going to take that risk and they're going to reach out because they're trying to salvage. They're trying to share with you what they've learned and to kind of prove to you that they're growing, that they're evolving in some way. So they will reach out to you, pile 3. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 3, advice for this connection moving forward. Whoops. 7 of Pentacles. So Spirit says there will be a slight delay here, but it's a beautiful opportunity to work on our growing condition. So if we are sort of embodying that 4 of Cups energy and feeling like we were overlooked and feeling like we weren't prioritized, it's an opportunity for us to kind of ground ourselves and to reflect upon what we built in the past and whether or not we want to proceed and build in the future. The delays are meant for us to help us. But we can grow impatient because we want everything fast in this realm. We have the Ace of Pentacles and we also have the King of Cups. This person could be a water sign, a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. They don't have to be. There's a sense of them just kind of evolving into this more emotional king. It's like they're just dipping their toe in that emotion, and this is an opportunity that has allowed them, in the disconnect, in the in-between, it's allowed them to dip their toe in that emotion. Because if there was no sort of break, if there was no disconnect, then they perhaps wouldn't have the darkness to be able to have no distraction so that they can come to these wonderful conclusions about you. But that's why there's a little bit of a delay before the communication opens up, because they're thinking about that risk of walking through that archway. But Spirit says that they will, because they have a lot to reveal to you. In the bowl today, we have here the letter E and the letter P and the letter V, and we have the and symbol. We also have here the sweet results of the honeybee after sacrifice. Somebody who's trying to kind of fill up the cells and support the queen bee. There's a sense of that. We have the King of Cups again in the bowl. We have the High Priestess and the Divine Feminine Starfish. There's an aspect of healing here for the Divine Feminine during this separation as well. And your higher self is actually stepping forward, trying to communicate a lot of healing energy towards you at this time. We have an E again. We have a little key, but it has this little squiggle in the middle. I was just thinking about the Wheel of Fortune. And so there is going to be a sudden turn of events in your favor, which opens up opportunity. But Spirit says that you hold the key on whether or not you want to involve yourself. That's why this delay is also for you. We have the Mickey Mouse key. So somebody who is admitting that they were locked in perhaps a childish prison, or they're a prison of their own design that may have been executed or forged when they were young. And we have a shovel. So somebody who's digging themselves a deeper pit, sometimes with the things that they say. It's like sticking their foot in their mouth at times. All right, pile number 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope that it resonates with you. If it did, I would love to hear your story below in the comments section, and I would love for an opportunity to read for you. So please drop me a comment so that I can enter you in for a chance to win a free reading. I also have an opportunity on Instagram this week to win a free mini read. So be sure to go over there and find my October giveaway post and enter for your chance to win. You can also check out my links for a personal reading from Etsy, and that link is below too if you feel called to. But I do hope that you come back and visit me on another day at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day.